How's it going, guys? Today we are taking a look at the Transformers Collaborative Series Party Wallop. And safe to say, I'm actually quite impressed with how this figure is. Um, it's got its issues, obviously. Not everything can be perfect. But this one is one of my more favorite collaborative toys. Obviously, it's the Turtle Van with the big guns on top. I do not know what iteration of the Turtle Van this is, but it is the Turtle Van. Turtle! Just looking at it though, it's quite impressive. At the front there shows Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Got the turtle face. Wonderful like armor detailing here. Same as the shell detail on the roof. I do not like that. I don't like the big spoiler on the thing, so I'm just going to take it off for now. But, it's great. It could stay on. But yeah, I was not prepared for the amount of accessories this thing comes with. Being 4 scalps and a buttload of weapons. But we'll get more into that in the robot mode. Party Wallop's transformation is actually it's quite tedious, I guess is the word. Because you got a bunch of stuff that wants to cooperate with you, but at the same time, if you want to do it back and forth, it's one of those it'll fight you. Start off, we're just going to reach down here and flip open that panel, bring it all the way out. Do the same thing on that side. Untab the entire roof section of the van, just to get it nice and loose. Fold out these sides of the van. And the back, we're going to start separating everything here. Unpeg it and bring it ever so slightly down. Come to the front. Ow, that hurt. Front wheels, they'll come out and become side skirts. And then we can take the entire back half of the truck out, and that'll become his legs. To finish off the legs, we're just going to flip out the heels, flip up the rear wheels, and then flip up the entire lower half. And you got, what is that? A girdle. Turtle. Anyway. Next, we're just going to bring the arms down just to get them out of the way. And we got to try and rotate these entire sections down. And this is where it does not want to cooperate with you. So I'm going to bring that out, bring that down. And we're going to, break that. Bring out the entire section there. Peg this panel back into place. Like so. Do the same thing on this side. Bring that out. Try and rotate it down. Bring it out. But at the same time, try and move that shoulder pad just to get it out of the way. I'm going to bring up his wrists like so. And we're almost done. These panels are going to fold inwards like that. I was doing it the wrong way. Do it on both sides. And then it's just going to fold up into the back of the shell like so. Lastly, we're going to bring out his head. And we've got to accordion his backpack. So bring up the camera a little bit. So the front roof here will be folded down, and it pegs into the back three places. One behind the neck, and 2 by the shoulders. So peg all that together. And that was going to be Party Wallop in his robot mode. And this is for sure not going to be the configuration I keep him in. I already know how I'm going to display him. But right now, we're just going to focus on the main Party Wallop robot. Articulation on him is substantial. With the front of the van on here, his leg can only go that far forward. He can go that far back before hitting the shell. He does have a nice thigh swivel. Well, around 90 degrees of bend at the knee before you untab every peg on the turtle shell. And he does have a waist rotation too, but that's where the front of the van gets caught. Arms can do a full 360, can go out that far. Bicep rotation, and surprisingly enough, a wrist rotation, just really stiff on mine. There we go. And lastly, his head is on a ball joint with really bad, really bad connections that tab in his back. So yeah, that is the main Party Wallop robot. Oh, wait, I forgot. Those have to flip up. We're going to go over all the configurations you can do. Firstly, we can pop this entire front van section off, like so. It gives you the more detailed chest piece and more leg movement. Oh, this backpack's driving me nuts. Obviously, you see the R here. This is how I'm going to display Party Wallop, is in his Raphael configuration. Pop off Party Wallop's scalp and pop on Raphael's. That is definitely how I'm going to display my figure, for sure. But if you wanted to, you could swap it out for... Who we got here? You got Leonardo. Come down and open that up. You can have your Leonardo, your Donatello, if this thing will cooperate. And then lastly, your... Give me your face. Your Michelangelo. Like so. And that's pretty cool. I like how that works. But, like I stated, since this is my toy, I am going to keep him in his Raphael configuration. Because he is one of my favorite Ninja Turtles. So, and the front of the van, we can flip down a little peg and peg it into one of two, or in either of his forearms. And it becomes just a little shield. This I was genuinely surprised to see. You can pop off the Ninja Turtle logo on the front of the van, and it's a little pizza. That's pretty cool. It just pegs back on to the front right there. Like so. So since you're able to do all 4 Ninja Turtles with this guy, you can have Raphael's size for his main weapons. They just plug into his hands like so. Or if you wanted to, say you're using the... Oh, get out of your hand. Oh, give me a second. Say if you're using your Leonardo configuration, you could bring in his two katanas, and he can either throw them both in his hands like so, or on his back like so. They just peg into the sides of the turtle shell. You've got your Donatello right here, and his staff just folds together like that. I do have a major critique with the staff. Uh, that's just the way he holds it. He holds it like a beating stick, not an actual staff. I wish his hands would open up and actually grab it where it needs to be, which would be here in the middle. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Yeah, the tolerances on this figure, at least my copy, it's way too tight. And I don't know how much I like that. And lastly, we have our Michelangelo setup. And for Mikey, he comes with two little nunchucks, which I think are pretty cool. I'm not going to peg them all the way in. He can hold both nunchucks on both hands and flail them around like he does in every show and cartoon, or every movie and cartoon. But let's just get him back into his Raphael form quickly. So for weapon storage, you can store all of his weapons and accessories on Party Wallop. Starting with the nunchucks, we're just going to flip up both of his shoulder pads right here. And you'll simply just slide the nunchucks in this way. You've got designated sections here where they just slide right in. And they hold fairly securely, actually. One goes there, the other one can go in right there. Those stay together really securely. Raphael's Sai, they peg in right here on the side of, or right where the wheel is, on both sides of him. Leonardo's katanas peg onto the back of the turtle shell. There's little slots there, and you can peg him in there. So that's how they look. If that'll peg in, there we go. And for the rest of them, the spare heads and Donatello's staff, I'm going to first break the staff, fold it up, and secondly, we're just gonna move everything out of the way so we can get into the back here. There we go. So on the back here, we're just going to fold up and fold those out. The staff has a indent right here that's just going to go into that peg, like so. And then you can store all of the turtle heads right in here. Just got to make sure that peg lines up with that, or that peg lines up into that port. We'll do it like that first. Bottoms. And then the top like so. And then we can just fold all of that back up. Fold up his turtle shell. And give him back his katanas. If his katanas go back in. And that is Party Wallop. I'm sure as a lot have noticed, this video was more of a jump cut to everything. This is the first time in a while that I don't have any form of comparisons, so I didn't have to break it up into different sections. I felt like I could get away with just doing it as one continuous video today. Let's just get his shield back in. But yeah, that is Party Wallop in all of his crossover glory. If you enjoyed, please let me know, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Jesus Christ.